Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to RoboMania 12 featuring Parallel Paradox versus QWOP. I am your host Game & Soy, and today we have 7 absolutely very competitive fights that I'm very excited to just jump right into because there should be a lot of really good fights. They're equally matched in my opinion as well, so I don't think we're going to see a lot of early finishes in a way, similar to how the last card was. Everything is going to lead up to our main event tonight, which is going to be between Parallel Paradox versus QWOP. This is a fight in the top 5, each robot ranked 2 and 3. So with a win here today, there is a good chance that we can see the winner facing Counter Blitz in RoboMania 15. Now we do also have to keep in mind Wombo Combo is in this list as well, who is currently ranked number 1. Nuts and Bolts is also ranked number 4 here, so there is a chance that we can see that matchup. And then of course, Werewolf being in that co-main event, who is ranked number 5. Before we jump into that co-main event though, this main event is going to be absolutely amazing in my opinion. Now we do have QWOP, who is taking on a very low robot. This might not be the best matchup for it. It is known for knocking out all of its opponents or throwing them out of the arena. For Parallel Paradox, it is on a 2-fight winning streak, both of them being knockouts as well. So both of these robots together are knockout artists, and I'm expecting another knockout in this one today. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go. I think I have to give the edge to Parallel Paradox based off the wedge. Like I said, it's very low to that ground. QWOP is a dangerous hitter, so he could just land one hit and the fight is over. But based off the wedges, I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go. It should be a very interesting matchup though. For our co-main event, we have a rematch between Werewolf and Red Dragon. Back from Battle of the Rookies 1, both of these robots were in the finale, and Werewolf won a 5-minute decision win. It was a dominant performance, and Red Dragon has been better ever since. I'm very excited to see how this one's going to come. Can Red Dragon redeem itself, or will Werewolf not let the opportunity for a rivalry begin? Another matchup I really want to jump into, and I am so excited for this one, is Serpiente versus Scary Harry. Scary Harry is looking to break into the top 15 with a win today against Serpiente, but in its way, Serpiente is seriously one of the most entertaining robots I have ever seen. It always will put on a performance, win or loss to be honest, and when it does that, it just always puts on a great show. Scary Harry is a knockout artist though. Both of its wins are coming from knockouts, so we should see a really fun matchup between these two robots today. We do also have 5 debuting robots in this fight card, and there is one that I really want to point out. We have Ultimatum going up against Tartarus. Now, you guys know me, I love the absolutely wild designs when a robot is created. And this robot is just like that. This robot has a vertical drum spinner, and also like an angled horizontal spinner right next to it, so it's almost similar to Crusader of the Light, but instead of offense and defense, it's double offense. And I'm extremely excited to see how this robot's going to perform going up against a very durable and aggressive Tartarus. Tartarus is coming off of a loss, so going on a 2-fight losing streak might not be the best start for it, but I do know that it is pretty upgraded and it should be a really good matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait any longer. This fight card is going to be absolutely amazing. I am extremely pumped for it, so let's just jump right into our first fight of the night. Get ready for an explosive debut showdown as the Zonk's vertical spinner takes on Scrapper's vertical spinner, both making their debut tonight. It's a clash of metal and mayhem as these newcomers attempt to carve their names into RoboMania combat history. And here we go for our first matchup of the night. We have the Zonk taking on Scrapper. This is a vertical spinner matchup where both robots are making their official debut today. I'm really excited to see how this one's going to come together because both robots are untested and I'm excited for it. Fighting out of the red square though, we have Scrapper. This robot is making its official debut. It's a classic square design with a vertical spinning blade in the middle. It has decent looking wedges, so I'm excited to see what this robot's potential can be, but in its way, we have a pretty goofy looking robot who is fighting out of the blue square. This is the Zonk. This robot, like I said, it looks pretty goofy, but don't think about that, alright? because this robot is looking to deal a lot of damage in this fight and try to make a big impression in its first fight. 3, 2, 1. Let the first matchup begin. The Zonk taking on Scrapper. They're both locking horns right off the bat, and Scrapper, and now Zonk goes flipping around. The Zonk is on its head while Scrapper is now trying to capitalize on it. Oh, very action-packed first 15 seconds of this fight, and the Zonk goes right into the camera. And a huge reversal by the Zonk, who knocks off one of the wedgelets. Back and forth action right off the beginning. I'm very excited for this one. Like I said, 2 vertical spinners coming together. There's usually a finish when that type of stuff happens, so this should be a good one. They're both trying to get good angles right now. The Zonk doesn't have any wedgelets, so I don't think it can get underneath Scrapper. But Scrapper is landing some good hits from this first minute of the fight. Zonk is upside down. A huge shot by both robots. Sends them both flying. Another huge shot. Sends them both flying yet again. And now the Zonk is back on its head again. It's trying to use that Shrimek to get self-righted. It does there, but it's been upside down 2 times now. I'm wondering if it can get if it can somehow not be flipped so much. But like I said, it's going up against a vertical spinner. Scrapper seems to be slowing down a little bit, but it seems good now. Might have just been stuck against the wall. Zonk now gets a good counter, gets underneath. There is smoke coming out of somebody. I'm not sure who it is. I think it's Scrapper, if I'm not mistaken. I think there was a really good shot right there from the Zonk. Scrapper is trying to somehow manage to stay alive for this one. It started out really good, and now Zonk is taking control of this fight, slamming it into the wall, and there you can see the smoke coming out of Scrapper. There is a countdown, but it seems like it can still move. Very interesting. Zonk gets underneath yet again, still doing a lot of damage. A huge shot by the Zonk sends Scrapper upside down yet again. Oh, the Zonk is looking really good in this first fight of its debut right now. It was back and forth for a little bit. Like I said, Scrapper's upside down. Can it get self-righted? I think the weapon might be dead. Some huge shots again by the Zonk. The Zonk is looking to get a finish right now, doing a bunch of damage to multiple different parts of Scrapper. Kind of going around in circles right now. Not seeing a lot of damage done by the Zonk. A huge shot right there, right as I say that. Multiple pieces are now coming off of Scrapper. We got just about 10 seconds left in this fight, so it looks like it is going to decision, but there is a countdown now. And it looks like it's 1 second behind the timer of the fight. With 1 second left, we are going to a judge's decision. Scrapper saved by the bell in this one. Although I do think Scrapper is going to get the decision, or sorry, the Zonk is going to get the decision win. That was such a good back and forth fight in the first couple minutes right here. You can see Scrapper getting some good shots, and then the Zonk hit that one shot. Both of them trading both times. And here we go, another one. Boom! Another huge hit by both robots. Sends them both flying. The Zonk upside down. This is where everything changed. The Zonk got underneath, set something not on fire, but it made something smoke and spark. And that was the beginning of the end, in my opinion, for Scrapper. The Zonk kept getting underneath, and then this is where the fight pretty much ended. Saved by the bell. 1 second left. Wow. While we wait for the judges to figure out who won this fight, let's take a look at some of the statistics of this fight. Now, like we were saying, it was back and forth for maybe the first minute and a half of it, and then the Zonk just took over the fight, in my opinion. And the stats don't really lie about that. As you can see, the Zonk had all better stats on all 4 criteria: significant strikes, strikes, flips, and pins for the total of the fight. And then towards the end, with Scrapper being saved by the bell with 1 second left, I am gonna have to say I believe the Zonk won this fight. Now, the first 2 minutes are pretty interesting because I do think the Scrapper won the first round. Now, the first 2 minutes of this fight were pretty interesting. I do believe the Scrapper won the first minute of this fight, so there is a chance that we can see this being somewhat of a closer fight than expected. but I do think the Zonk dominated that last minute. It does ultimately come up to that second minute of who actually won the fight. I am hearing that the judge's decision is in, so let's see who won this fight. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 minutes, we go to the judges' scorecards for their decisions. All 3 judges score this contest 29 to 27. For the winner by unanimous decision, the Zonk. And with that, a unanimous decision goes to the Zonk. A great start in its career, getting a good decision win. It was back and forth in the first minute like we were saying, and then the Zonk comes back, almost gets that finish. It was 1 second away from getting that finish. I think it did a really good job, and I'm extremely excited to see what the future is going to hold for the Zonk. It seems like it's going to immediately become a fan favorite in my personal opinion, just because it's the Zonk, you know? Now, it is 1-0, and it is going to be getting somewhat close to that top 15. Like I said, we don't have a bunch of robots in this league right now, so a robot who goes 2-0 could possibly already be in that top 15. I'm very excited to see what the matchmakers are going to kind of think of when it comes to the Zonk in the future, because it seems like it put on a pretty good performance. Depending on what happens with Serpiente and Scary Harry in the future, we could see a fun matchup in the future with the Zonk and one of them. This is just me thinking right now, just out loud. I don't know. It would be a cool matchup just to see the Zonk go up against yet another vertical spinner, because it was a fantastic fight. And for Scrapper, it was an unfortunate loss because, like I said, back and forth that first minute, Scrapper had some good parts of that fight where, besides that last part where it got saved by the bell, there's a lot of potential for Scrapper. Now, it is 0-1 already, but it does only have just a decision loss. The thing that I care about the most when it comes to this league is putting on a good performance and a good fight, and I think the Scrapper did that very well. So I'm very curious to see what the matchmakers are going to do for both of these robots, the Zonk and Scrapper, because I think that was honestly a fight where they both looked like veterans already. Ultimately though, a fantastic fight to start out this card. I think there's going to be a lot of fights similar to this in the future, and I can't wait for it. But without further ado, let's just jump into our next one, because that was a great fight. Prepare for the mechanical mayhem as Zonda R, debuting with a vertical spinner, squares off against Butterknife's hammer saw. Backed by considerable height, these newcomers are set to make their mark in a high-energy arena. And here we go for our second matchup of the night. We have the vertical spinner, Zonda R, taking on the hammer saw Butterknife. Both of these robots, again, both making their official RoboMania Fighting League debut tonight. I'm very excited to see how this one's going to match up. Fighting out of the red square though, we have Butterknife. This is a hammer saw robot. We have seen hammer saws do pretty well in this league altogether, and this one does not look to be on the lower end. This is a good looking hammer saw that can dish out a lot of damage. It is going up though against a very interesting style, vertical spinner, drum spinner type of style. This is Zonda R. This robot is kind of a scooping wedge that will try to scoop up hammer saw and just deal a lot of damage to it. I'm really excited for this matchup. 3, 2, 1. Let this matchup begin. Zonda R versus Butterknife. The hammer saw versus vertical spinner. Zonda R gets a huge shot right off the bat against Butterknife, sending it flying, but it's now self-righted. I'm very excited. Whenever I see a hammer saw, it's like one of my favorite designs. So I love seeing them just fight. And right now, as you can see, Butterknife pinning Zonda R against the wall. And now there's smoke coming out. A bunch of damage being done by that spinning disc of Butterknife. I'm not sure what part is smoking right now. It seems like it could still drive. The weapon still seems like it's spinning. I'm not sure what sort of damage is being done to Zonda R right now, but it's still going. The weapon does seem to be slowing down now, but it does look like Zonda R can still get that wedge underneath Butterknife. So this is going to be an interesting matchup right here. The weapon is now dead on Zonda R. Can it somehow out-grapple Butterknife for a win? Butterknife still has its weapon active, but somehow seems like it's getting backed up now. Zonda R being the most aggressive. A great reversal by Butterknife though, but still can't get underneath Zonda R. Very interesting. We're about halfway through the fight now. Pretty back and forth. The main shot obviously is going to Butterknife for some sort of damage to the weapon, I believe it is. A good pin right there by Zonda R. And here we go, just above a minute left. Can we see anything crazy happen? Some good shots now by Butterknife, hitting the weapon on weapon contact right here. Doing quite a bit of damage to Zonda R, who is still smoking from that big shot. Still staying aggressive against the wall from Butterknife. A very good control robot from what we're seeing so far. Gets another great pin. Takes the back, actually, of Zonda R. We're just under a minute left in this fight. And Zonda R is almost on its back right now. This is not good. I'm not sure if it can self-right without the weapon. It needs to somehow get out of this part. Butterknife is doing a great job. And we have a countdown. It looks like it is stuck on its back. 2, 1. That's the end of the fight. Butterknife, winner by TKO. What a great performance by Butterknife. It didn't dominate because there was back and forth action in it, but there was some good shots. The first one right here by Zonda R. Really great job by Zonda R on that shot. This is where everything changed though. Somewhere right there, I believe this next shot. Boom. Nope, not that one. One of these shots, I'm not sure which one it was, but that's what did a lot of damage to Zonda R, and the weapon was dead after that. Zonda R tried to capitalize right here, as you can see, with its aggression, but there was at some point where Butterknife capitalized as well, took its back, and flipped it against the wall, and then right here, it got stuck on its back, and Butterknife wins via TKO. A fantastic performance by Butterknife on that fight. Winning with 2 minutes and 31 seconds in that fight, defeats Zonda R by TKO. Now let me tell you, when you're making your debut, you want a finish. That is one of the best things you can ask for to start out your career in the RoboMania fighting. And it might just be because I have a soft spot for hammer saws, but I absolutely love Butterknife. I would like to see Butterknife go up against possibly a horizontal spinner in the future. I think that would be kind of fun to see what would happen with a hammer saw coming down on a horizontal blade, but it was ultimately a really fun fight. For Zonda R, it had its moments. It looked good, it was damaged, and it still looked like it had a chance to win that fight. Now, it did ultimately get flipped up on its back. I would like to see that kind of bunny tail get added to the back of Zonda R, so if it were ever to be flipped on its back, it can get wedged back and forth either on its head or back upright. A streamic for this robot would also be really cool to see. Now, we've seen 4 robots fight, all making their debut, and I think all 4 of them looked really good in their debut fight. Now, obviously, we're going to have 2 winners and 2 losers, but I'm going to say the 2 losers looked really good from what we've seen in the past fight cards. I think the future is going to be bright for all 4 of these robots, including Butterknife and the Zonk. Just absolutely fantastic performance so far. We got one more debuting robot coming up next. Let's see how this fight goes in our next fight. The arena trembles as Tartarus, eager for redemption after a loss, wields its horizontal spinner against Ultimatum's debut vertical spinner. Experience meets new blood in an explosive showdown that promises unforgettable action. And here we go for our next matchup. We have the horizontal spinner, Tartarus, who is coming off of a loss, going up against Ultimatum. I don't even know how to explain this robot. It's a vertical and an angle horizontal. It looks like a meat grinder, to be honest with you. But fighting out of the red square, we have the robot making its debut. This is Ultimatum. This robot, like I said, it looks like a meat grinder. It has that vertical to wedge it up with that horizontal angled one on the side. It looks like it can deal a lot of damage, a very interesting design, and I love that type of style. It will be going up though against Tartarus. This robot is coming off of a TKO loss against Lunatic in RoboMania 9. It's looking to bounce back today. It looks pretty upgraded in my opinion as well. I'm excited to see what it's going to take to do for this fight. 3, 2, 1. Let this matchup begin. Tartarus going up against Ultimatum. Like I said, I'm extremely hyped for Ultimatum, but Tartarus is also a fantastic design. This should be a great matchup. A huge shot, I believe, by Tartarus right there. But now, getting pinned up and getting in the grinder of Ultimatum. Flipped upside down. This is going to be a great matchup. There is a wheel that was just lost by, I don't even know who it was. I think it was by Tartarus. Some huge shots, though, by Tartarus now. trying to get behind Ultimatum, but it seems like Ultimatum is just a quicker robot at this point. More wheels are coming off of Tartarus at this point. It's still upside down, but it still can do a lot of damage. Some great shots back and forth. I love that design where it's the drum spinner, and then right here on top the grinder. You can get a robot stuck up there and just deal a ton of damage. A huge shot right there by Ultimatum sends Tartarus flying. I'm going to keep saying Ultimatum, but I know it's Ultimatum. It's just how it comes out in my mouth. Some good back and forth action so far. We're just past a minute in this fight. Nothing too crazy when it comes to power by either of these robots. Seems like they're doing some smaller chips right now. And that top weapon is getting a little bit stuck on Tartarus. Some more stuff coming off as well. Not a lot of bigger shots, but there is some good jabs, if you will, where they're doing damage, but not a lot of damage. They're tallying up in a way. Oh, a big one right there by Ultimatum right there. Sends Tartarus kind of flying in the air. Tartarus now trying to come back with some big shots. Very back and forth. This fight is very close. It seems like Ultimatum is getting underneath more, but Tartarus is doing more damage. It's hard to tell though. Very back and forth. We are under a minute left in this fight, and I don't know who's winning so far, but I think this next minute's going to determine who is winning. Tartarus still getting ground up in the meat grinder of Ultimatum, and then Tartarus flips over Ultimatum almost, and then I think the weapon on Tartarus is now dead. A huge shot by Ultimatum. There was like 4 batteries that just came out of Tartarus, and it was on fire everywhere. I don't think the fire is coming out of Tartarus anymore. We got 20 seconds left in this fight, and there's batteries just flying everywhere. Ultimatum is trying to just get that finish. We got 10 seconds left in this fight. Oh my goodness. Then the countdown, but I don't think it's enough. Saved by the bell once again. Are you kidding me? We don't see that often in RoboMania, let me tell you, where a robot's getting counted down and it's saved by the bell, but twice now. What a great fight that was. Back and forth for the first 2.5 minutes, in my opinion. There was just a bunch of good shots by both robots. Right here you can see Tartarus getting behind Ultimatum, and then this is where Ultimatum really did well. It ground up in that meat grinder. Tartarus just got stuck there for a majority of that fight, and a lot of parts of Tartarus came off in that time frame as well. A big shot. I'm not sure who that was by. I think it was by both robots. Here's the big one though. Right here, look at that shot. Oh my goodness. So much fire coming out of Tartarus, and this is where the fight ended, and we're going to a judge's decision. Wow. While we wait for the judges to figure out who won this fight, let's take a look at the statistics of this crazy one. Now, just looking at the stats, there is a lot more red than there is blue in my opinion. The significant strikes 11-0 for Ultimatum, 151 strikes to 90, which 90 is still a fantastic number for Tartarus. And then for the flips and pins, 4-3 to only 1 for Tartarus. I do think that Ultimatum is going to win this fight. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a close decision or not. It could be a pretty dominant win. It could be a very close. It could be a split decision. Tartarus may even win this fight. It was a weird fight, and I'm not sure who won it. I do think Ultimatum is going to get its hand raised today, but to be honest, I'm not exactly sure. I think that last minute of this fight should be looked at because of all the fire that was coming out of Tartarus. It was just a significant momentum change of the fight. I am getting note that the judge's decision is in, so let's see who won this fight. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 minutes, we go to the judges' scorecards for their decisions. The judges score this contest 30-26, 30-27, and 30-26. For the winner by unanimous decision, Ultimatum. What a fantastic fight that was. Now, it started off, like I said, with smaller hits, but it definitely showcased some really good power, especially by Ultimatum. Now, the judge's decision was actually 30-27 for one of them, and then 30-26 which means Tartarus didn't win a single minute of that fight, which I don't completely agree with. I did think Tartarus had some good moments in that fight, and I thought it possibly won 1 or 2 of those minutes as well. Obviously, I'm not the judge, so I don't decide who wins the fights, but I was a little bit surprised by that decision. Ultimately though, Ultimatum should have won that fight, especially with that last minute, and I think that was a fantastic debut performance. Look at us, 3 fights in a row, and there's 3 robots who look fantastic in their debut. I'm at a loss of words right now with what to say about Ultimatum, because it's a freaking unique robot. I love its setup with the drum spitter and the horizontal spinner on top, and it put on an absolute performance. I think I'm a fan of it already, and I cannot wait to see what it's going to do in the future. Now, as for Tartarus, it is on a 2-fight losing streak. It's 0-2. It lost by TKO and it just lost today by unanimous decision. It's not the best start that you want to see as a robot in the fighting league, because once you're 0-3, things are going to go downhill from there. You might not make it to the next fight. So we do need to see Tartarus take a bounce back in its next fight. Now, we do keep in mind strength of schedule is a thing. Both of the robots that Tartarus has fought, they're 2-0 altogether. So that is something that we do need to keep in mind as well. I do think that we are going to see Tartarus bounce back. I don't think we need to see any changes to it because it put on a good show in my opinion. It just went up against a really weird and unique robot that just got that one big shot at the end, and that's ultimately why I think Ultimatum won this fight. Fantastic 3 fights so far in this, and I cannot wait for this next one, so let's jump right into it. Flipping Incredible, ranked 12 and determined to rebound from a recent loss, faces off against the formidable Sad Fox, riding high on a dominant win. This flipper versus spinner clash guarantees non-stop action as both robots vie for supremacy. And coming up next, we have the Flipper Flipping Incredible going up against Sad Fox. Both of these robots have already fought in this league, and we got a pretty interesting Flipper versus horizontal matchup coming our way with a slight favor for the Flipper and ranked 12 Flipping Incredible. But fighting out of the red square, we have Sad Fox coming off an absolute dominant victory against Ghost Rider in a unanimous decision. I believe it dominated all 3 minutes, and it won a significant landslide of a decision. So it will be trying to come back today and actually get a finish in this one, but it's going up against a tough opponent by the name of Flipping Incredible, who has not been finished as of yet. It is coming off of a loss, however, it has fought really good opponents, and this one's going to be an interesting matchup between a flipper and a horizontal spinner. 3, 2, 1, let this next matchup begin. Flipping Incredible, Sad Fox. Sad Fox gets wedged up against Flipping Incredible, goes flying from the first couple seconds, and now Flipping Incredible being aggressive. We got the flipper versus horizontal. Usually the horizontals take this fight, but look at Flipping Incredible flipping over Sad Fox multiple times and staying aggressive, pinning against the wall. Sad Fox is in the air. Oh man, I'm very curious to see how this one's going to progress right now, because I know Sad Fox is a good robot. It's just been flying in the air for the first 40 seconds of this fight. A great slam against the wall by Flipping Incredible. Back and forth right now, kind of. There is some damage being done by Sad Fox. A huge shot right there, actually, by Sad Fox. And some parts are now coming off of Flipping Incredible. One of the chassis, it looks like, part of the chassis just came off. No, I think that was actually part of the wheel guard. And now, a huge shot by Sad Fox, flipping over Flipping Incredible. Sad Fox trying to capitalize now. Slamming it against the wall, still doing a bunch of damage with that horizontal spinner on Sad Fox. Flipping Incredible is upside down right now. I'm not sure if it can flip. There we go. It flips itself back over and then immediately wedges Sad Fox against the wall, staying aggressive. A huge shot, though, by Sad Fox, which actually sends Sad Fox flying. All right, here we go. About halfway through this fight already. Back and forth so far. I'm not sure who's leading it. If this were to go to a judge's decision, I have no idea who's winning this so far. But right now, it does seem like Flipping Incredible is being more aggressive. But Sad Fox is also being extremely aggressive right now. It's just being flipped over a lot. Still looking great on Flipping Incredible's side. A big flip by Flipping Incredible, but now it is upside down, and Sad Fox is now trying to climb up of it right now. Still doing some good damage. Getting some big shots right here while Flipping Incredible is upside down. It's trying to... Flipping Incredible trying to self-right right now, but I don't know how much power is left in its juices for the pneumatic flipper. Sad Fox trying to somehow still dish out some more damage in the process. We got 20 seconds left in this fight, and it looks like we are going to go to a judge's decision. This last 10 seconds or 15 seconds is going to be big for the judges, in my opinion. I'm not exactly sure who's winning this fight. It's very close. 10 seconds left. Can anything big happen here? Sad Fox wedges itself up. Nothing too crazy, and this fight is going to a judge's decision. I have no idea who's going to win this fight. That was extremely close. Back and forth for a majority of it. They were both being very aggressive. Here you can see, though, Flipping Incredible gets off some great flips on Sad Fox. Another one, sending it flying in the air multiple times. I feel like Sad Fox was in the air for a majority of this fight, but also Sad Fox got some great shots off. Right there you can see a big hit. And I believe there's another good hit coming up right here. Oh, what a big shot. It flips over Flipping Incredible as well. Flipping Incredible comes back, tries to wedge it, but Sad Fox gets a big hit in return. And then Flipping Incredible was also upside down for a majority of this fight, so I don't even know who's going to win this. This is where the fight ended right here. I have no idea who won. What do you guys think? I don't know. While we wait for the judges to figure out who won this fight, let's take a look at some of the statistics of this one. Now, this one was probably, so far, our closest fight of the night. It was very back and forth. Obviously, significant strikes and strikes are going to be 0 for Flipping Incredible because it doesn't have a weapon. It does have a flipper though, so as you can see down below, 4 flips to 1 on Sad Fox, and then 8 pins to 2. But then you have to look at the strikes, because the strikes do matter. You got 9 significant strikes by Sad Fox, and then 71 regular strikes by Sad Fox. This is a very close one in my opinion. I'm not exactly sure who's going to win. I think either robot can definitely win this fight. It ultimately is going to come down to what the judges think on this one. We do have to remember though, the judges are looking at damage, control, and aggression. Damage is the #1 thing that they look for. But when it comes to a flipper versus a horizontal, control and aggression is also a huge part in that decision. I think Flipping Incredible had more control in this fight. I think obviously Sad Fox did more damage. It's going to ultimately come down to who was more aggressive, and both robots were constantly moving forward the entire time. I don't know who's going to win this. I am hearing the judge's decision is in, so let's see who wins this close fight. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 minutes, we go to the judges' scorecards for their decisions. Judge 1 scores this contest 29-28 for Sad Fox. Judge 2 scores this contest 29-28 for Flipping Incredible. And Judge 3 scores this contest 30-27 for the winner by split decision, Sad Fox. Very interesting decision, in my opinion. Now, I don't want to be someone who brings up controversy when it comes to decisions. It was a split decision, so I wouldn't say it's a robbery in any form. But I personally thought Flipping Incredible did enough to win that fight, especially when it comes to a flipper versus a spinner of some sort. You don't want to give the benefit of the doubt when it comes to damage and control and aggression. But I did think Flipping Incredible did a good job maintaining that fight and not letting Sad Fox do what it does best in a fight. Now, as I said before, I'm not the judges, so I don't decide who wins. But Sad Fox looked really good in that fight as well. Sad Fox is now going to be 2-0. Most likely going to be in the top 15 now, and it's going to be fighting somebody who's really good in the future. So I'm very curious to see how Sad Fox is going to handle this, because Sad Fox now has 2 decision victories, no finishes, but it has beat some really good robots as well. And as for Flipping Incredible, like I said, I don't necessarily agree with the decision. It is dropping to 2-2 and will most likely be bumped out of that top 15. Now, luckily for Flipping Incredible, it doesn't have to fight top tier opponents every fight now, because it's no longer going to be in that top 15. But you do want to see Flipping Incredible bounce back after this one. The upgrade on the design, I think, worked out perfectly for Flipping Incredible, and I do think that Flipping Incredible is going to come back in the future. and break into this top 15 once again. Some fun matches so far, but I expect this next one to be the best out of them all. Let's jump into our next fight. Serpiente, ranked 14 and accustomed to the spotlight, aims to bounce back from a loss as it goes head to head with the triumphant Scary Harry. These vertical spinners are set to dazzle in a showdown that could steal the show. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this matchup. We have two Fight of the Night robots here that are looking to just come together and knock each other out. We have the 14 ranked Serpiente going up against the non-ranked but should be ranked Scary Harry. Both of these robots are vertical spinners and I'm excited for it. Fighting out of the red square, we have Scary Harry. As you can see, 100% finish rate. It either knocks the opponent out or it gets knocked out. It is coming off of a win against Double or Nothing where it got that TKO victory, and it's looking to go on a 2-fight winning streak against a really tough robot who is fighting out of the blue square with a pretty significant upgrade. This is Serpiente, who is ranked 14. This robot is always putting on a performance, tied first for most Fight of the Nights and Performance of the Nights. This should be a great fight. 3, 2, 1. Let this matchup begin. Serpiente versus Scary Harry. I am so excited for this one. Should be a great matchup. They're locking horns right off the bat. Serpiente gets a great pin on Scary Harry. Both of these robots can deal a lot of damage. A great reversal by both robots. They're reversing each other back and forth. Scary Harry's trying to get underneath those wedgelets, but it seems like it's not doing so good on it. Scary Harry's trying also to get underneath the wedgelets of Serpiente. I don't know what's happening right now. They're locking horns still. Very controlling fight as of now. They separate, so this can be a change right here. Serpiente gets flipped upside down, set on fire. Scary Harry, some huge shots. Sets it on fire. There's smoke, there's sparks, there's fire coming out of Serpiente. Now Serpiente is a zombie, let me tell you. It can work on fire, but it is on its head right now as well. This might be the end of the fight already. 3, 2, 1. That's the end of the fight. Scary Harry, winner by knockout. Wow, are you serious right now? Scary Harry, it only took a couple shots. And that's how you can tell how much damage Scary Harry dishes out. Up against, like I said, a zombie of a robot. Here's where everything started. Gets underneath one shot. Gets that shot on the bottom of the chassis. Sets it on fire first. Then there's another huge shot. We're just going to play this whole ending right here. That's the big shot. And then this is where everything else was destroyed in Serpiente. And that's how Scary Harry won by knockout. Oh my God, are you kidding me right now? Now, I do have to admit, I am a huge fan of Serpiente. I think Serpiente might be my favorite robot in the entire league. But what Scary Harry did to one of the best robots in 1 minute and 5 seconds is just insane. I have no words for it. Scary Harry now has 2 knockouts, 1 TKO with a 100% win rate, and it is 100% going to be in this top 15 now. I have no words for what Scary Harry just did to Serpiente because that was a fantastic performance. And let me just read you off the names of who Scary Harry has fought real quick. It lost to Sharkbait, it beat Hump Day, it beat Double or Nothing, and it just beat Serpiente today. That is a fantastic strength and schedule in my opinion for Scary Harry, and I think that Scary Harry is going to do a lot of damage in this top 15. As for Serpiente though, it is currently on a 2-fight losing streak where it lost to Nuts and Bolts and then just now to Scary Harry. Now with a 2-3 record, Serpiente will most likely be bumped out of this top 15, but I do absolutely expect Serpiente to bounce back into this top 15, very similar to how Flipping Incredible is. That was a pretty brutal one to watch. Besides Whiteout, this was one of the only vertical spinners that Serpiente has went up against, which is kind of interesting to think about because Serpiente usually goes up against horizontal spinners. I'm not exactly sure how to word it though, but I do know both robots are definitely gonna be back in this top 15. Scary Harry is gonna go on an incredible run. I'm very excited for it. We do have our co-main event coming up next, our rematch between Werewolf and Red Dragon, so let's jump right into it. The co-main event delivers a riveting rematch, as the former champion Werewolf, who is currently on a losing streak, seeks redemption against Red Dragon's suplex maneuvers. The clash of experience and momentum promises an unforgettable spectacle. Our co-main event is a great one. I'm excited for this. We have the number 5 ranked Werewolf taking on the number 7 ranked Red Dragon. Both of these robots are looking to get that win. That'll push them in the top 3 perhaps and get that chance to get that second fight for the championship. In the red square though, we have Red Dragon who's flipping around. This robot coming off of a victory is a 4-2 record. And it's looking to get this rematch victory. Remember, they fought before, and I'm not sure Red Dragon's pretty happy about that because it got beat pretty bad. It's going up against the winner of that rematch though. This is Werewolf, who's the former champion. It won that previous fight, and it looks like it's going with the anti-horizontal setup. I'm very interested to see why they chose this, but let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Let this co-main event begin. Werewolf and Red Dragon. The suplex master is back at it again. I am very curious to see why Werewolf chose the anti-horizontal configuration against a flipping robot, but I guess we'll see. Oh, a huge part! The jaw, the bottom jaw of Red Dragon has now been knocked off. It looks like it could still try to flip. Werewolf is getting pinned against the wall right now, but that is significant for Red Dragon to not have those pieces anymore. The bottom jaw is what flips over the robot on Red Dragon, so it only got one suplex off, and I think that's going to be it for the rest of the fight, if it can survive. Werewolf takes its back. Some fire now coming out of Red Dragon. I saw a part come off with a few batteries attached to it. So I think that's going to be it for Red Dragon. Werewolf is sitting by, seeing if Red Dragon can move at all, and I'm seeing a countdown right now. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the end of the fight. We have Werewolf winning by knockout. We got 2 back-to-back knockouts right there, and from the beginning, I thought Red Dragon was going to control this. Let's see this. Look at this suplex. Boom! What a great... I love seeing the suplexes by Red Dragon, but here's where the jaw comes off of Red Dragon. It didn't get decapitated, but it lost its bottom jaw, got its back taken, and that was it. Once those batteries left, I don't think the flipper can move anymore, and Werewolf wins by knockout. Well, I guess I bit my words when I said I don't understand why Werewolf went with that anti-horizontal configuration, because Werewolf looked really good in that fight. Now, it did get suplexed, but it came back, it knocked out Red Dragon, and there's absolutely no rivalry there anymore. Now, with the win today, Werewolf was ranked 6, and I think it's going to break into that top 5, depending on what happens in this main event. It is now 5-2. And is looking to become champion yet again. Werewolf was on a 2-fight losing streak, but this is a momentum booster in my opinion, where it's coming back and getting back into that win column. Now, I do just want to point out the 2 losses for Werewolf, Counter Blitz and the Doc. That's all I really have to say. As for Red Dragon though, it is now 4-3, currently losing 3 of its last 4 fights. That's not the best stat that you want to see. It is ranked 7 right now, most likely will be booted down, possibly out of the top 15. We'll see what happens. It's definitely something you don't want to see if you're a fan of Red Dragon though. Red Dragon has now been knocked out 2 times out of the 3 losses. And I think there has to be some sort of upgrade for Red Dragon in the future, because it just doesn't seem like it has what it takes to be in this top 15 anymore. Altogether though, a pretty interesting fight for that first couple seconds, but Werewolf showcased that it is on another level than Red Dragon, and I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at our main event, Parallel Paradox versus QWOP, the number 2 ranked robot and the number 3 ranked robot. I would say that this is possibly gonna be a title elimination fight for RoboMania 15, so this is a pretty big one. Without further ado though, let's jump into this fight. The main event presents a titanic clash as Parallel Paradox, riding a winning streak, faces off against the undefeated QWOP, both boasting vertical spinners. With rankings and streaks at stake, the arena is set for an electrifying showdown of robotic prowess. And for our main event of the evening, we got the number 2 ranked Parallel Paradox taking on the number 3 ranked and fan favorite QWOP. 2 vertical spinners coming together for this one, and the odds are even. This is an even fight. I'm excited for it. Fighting out of the red square, we have QWOP, who is undefeated on a 3-fight winning streak, and 2 of those 3 are coming from knockout. 100% finish rate. This robot immediately became a fan favorite when it made its first fight in this league. It will be going up against an underrated robot, in my opinion, who is ranked number 2. We got Parallel Paradox, alright? So 4-1 record, 75% finish rate. It has 2 knockouts, which is actually tied for first in the league. It should be a great matchup. Let's see who wins. 3, 2, 1. Let our main event begin. Parallel Paradox, QWOP. Parallel Paradox gets underneath QWOP right away. This is what I was worried about from QWOP's perspective. It's a very powerful robot. I mean, being on its side might be the best part for QWOP for this robot. Some smoke is now coming out. Parallel Paradox just staying underneath. Fire is now coming out of QWOP. Its weapon is still hitting Parallel Paradox. It is now stopped though. Oh no, just like that. Parallel Paradox just got underneath, set it on fire. That weapon seems to be dead already. Here we have a countdown. Oh no. What a quick fight by Parallel Paradox. QWOP being knocked out within the first minute of the fight. Wow. Now, it was a little bit anticlimactic, I will say. However, Parallel Paradox did exactly what it needed to do. It got underneath, got the 5th quickest finish, or fifth quickest knockout, I should say, in RoboMania Fighting League. And this is where it all ended. Got that one shot against the bottom, hit some sort of ESC or battery of some sort, then set it on fire right there. And just like that, Parallel Paradox moves to 5-1 with 3 knockouts in a row, might I add, and just destroys QWOP in the first minute of this main event. Now, I may seem a little bit, not upset, but bummed in a way. I really enjoyed the rise of QWOP in this fighting league, and it almost is a shame to see the hype train end this early. Now, don't get me wrong, I think QWOP is going to be back in this top 5 in the near future, but with that loss, I'm not sure it's going to get that title fight against Counter Blitz anymore. Which brings me to my next topic now. We have Parallel Paradox, who just knocked out QWOP, who looked fantastic, is now 5-1 with 3 knockouts in a row. Do we see Parallel Paradox getting matched up against Counter Blitz in RoboMania 15? Or do you think Wombo Combo is still going to get that opportunity? It's a very interesting matchup for both of these robots. And we do have to also keep in mind, Nuts and Bolts is still in that top 5. And we also have to think Werewolf just won in the co-main event, so who knows what's going to happen. But what Parallel Paradox did today was absolutely a masterclass of a performance. It was a different stylistic matchup between the 2 robots that they normally don't fight, and I think the advantage was already in favor of Parallel Paradox, purely based off of the wedges. But for any doubters of Parallel Paradox, this was the showcase fight, and I have no idea what the future is going to hold for Parallel Paradox and Wombo Combo. Ultimately though, huge congratulations to Parallel Paradox for getting that upset win, and commiserations to QWOP. Like I said before though, I see QWOP bouncing back very shortly. I'm just not 100% sure if it's going to get that matchup in RoboMania 15 against the champion. We had 7 fantastic fights tonight, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be starting a new thing on this channel now. After every fight card, I'm going to post a little thing in the community tab on my channel where I want you guys to vote who won Performance of the Night and Fight of the Night. Now, do keep in mind, whoever wins Performance and Fight of the Night, it does impact the rankings. So when you do vote, take into account that it does affect the robot you are voting for. It was a fantastic fight card today, and I have no idea who's even in the running for Fight of the Night and Performance of the Night, because I think there was a lot of great fights. But like I said, take a look. I'm also going to put it in the comments down below, so keep an eye out for that one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching RoboMania 12 featuring Parallel Paradox versus QWOP. I don't ask for likes or subscriptions often, All I really care about is a comment down below if you enjoyed it or even if you didn't enjoy it. Let me know what you thought of these fights. I absolutely look forward to the people who break down each fight in the comment sections below of what they thought and who they thought won. So even if you are just a lurker, pop down in the comments below just to say what's up. We also have a fun tournament that is also going to be coming up in the future with 64 robots in a single elimination tournament, and only 8 will get a RoboMania contract in the fighting league. So keep an eye out on that one. It's gonna be a fun tournament. Other than that though, I will see you all next time on RoboMania.